Okay, just a quick video on what I've brought to my private pilot Checkride. So it starts with your ACS. You definitely want to have this on you day of. And like for instance, if you're going to do power off stalls and you don't know that you need to configure the airplane and recover in a VX or VOI after doing the maneuver, then you should definitely be studying this cover to cover if you're ready to go. Also included in here is a practical test checklist, which I would highly recommend that you photocopy and bring. So here we've got my binder that I'm bringing with me to my Checkride, and first thing there is that checklist. So making sure you have all the equipment you might need, documentation, maybe you had like a letter of discontinuance, that kind of thing that need to be there. Highly recommend you bring that. Next I had the aircraft maintenance from the flight school or rental company or however you bring your airplane. For my particular plane, they wouldn't give me the actual logbook, so this is what we had to bring, and definitely recommend checking with the DP ahead of time if that's acceptable. Weight and balance that we're using for our cross-country planning. You'll need the actual weight and balance from the airplane. Don't forget that. And then the actual calculations I did. In this particular one, I'd recommend bringing an extra one. My DP did give me a scenario where we modified the weight and balance in like a peculiar way, and had to determine if we'd still be flying with that or not. Brought my tools in case there's something about the cross-country planning we need to show or recalculate. Actually brought this. I'll have this in the plane with you, obviously, but you want to bring it into the actual Checkride to show the course that you plotted. Your actual cross-country navigation log, how all the work you did there. Your results of your, well, for me, I had a letter of discontinuance from a previous Checkride that stopped for weather. But, if you need maybe a letter of discontinuance for any other reason, you want to bring that, or perhaps something else you might have. These are my weather minimums. So I got this one from the AOPA. So you'll want to show him that you have these documented and that you're actually sticking to them. This is just something you wrote up. The safety briefing that I used, again, got this off their website. So passenger safety briefing. For the actual calculations for my cross country, because you'll be spending a bunch of time on that, for anything you use, you should print out and bring with you. So I had the winds and temperature data here highlighted for my planned altitudes. I found a PDF of my POH online and blew it up. You could always just scan it and blow it up. But for the actual performance charts, where we did that calculation. So for instance, our takeoff ground roll, my takeoff performance, time, fuel, and distance to climb. I never get these sheets apart. So we have landing ground roll distance, landing distance, any of the things in the AFD you might want to use as well. That you might ask questions about in a reference. So for your target airports, destination airports, your departure airport, diagrams, taxiways. You might want to show them your plan. Perhaps based on the current winds, you could show them, where you plan to land, or maybe the, planned taxi route, that kind of thing. So those are like the main things in my actual binder here. And of course, you want to bring your FAR aim. If yours looks like this, it shows that you've actually been using it, and it's not just something you bought and put on a shelf. My tabs aren't particularly helpful. You want to tab it on your own. I tabbed out like part 6191, and then focus on the sections where I thought I might have to look something up. That would be my recommendation. Just tab out the sections where you're not maybe 110% sure that you might have that answer where you say, I think it's this, but I want to look it up. Of course, remembering that, you want to only answer that for questions for things you can look on the ground. If he's asking you like a V-speed or something, you should just know that, because that's something you need to know in the air. You can't just look that up easily. POH, tabbing out your POH. In case there's, I definitely got several questions there that were, some of those stumper questions that required looking at that. So that's a quick version of everything I brought on my Checkride. You can also bring everything else, they use to study materials. It really depends on your DPE. You're going to want to talk to them ahead of time. There's some that let you Google things with your phone, and there's some that only let you use documentation issued by, like the government or something. Maybe only federal documentation like the FAR AIM or something like that. So check with their DPE first. And good luck. Good luck.